Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tapped In with Vero Lead Biz Solutions. I'm here today with the lovely Mrs. Denise Cambiotti. Denise is the CEO of Muscle Tuners International Incorporated, and she has some fantastic insights and information to help you get to your superpower over stress. You know, stress is silently working against you. It's draining your energy, it's clouding your judgment, and you know what? It keeps you stuck. You might be doing a lot of things. If you're like me, you're probably having massages, you're having physiotherapy, just a variety of interventions that you can take to help yourself feel better. But the reality is that, stress isn't always just related to the body, it is emotional stress. And that emotional stress will actually lock you into a survival mode that can just really derail whatever you're doing because you're really focusing on survival. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Fran Strickland, and I'm the chief consultant, founder, and CEO of V. Chastain Global Enterprises LLC. And our platform is for owners, founders, and CXOs to come together to explore their personal and business strategies that create real breakthroughs and growth. And Denise is now going to be our guest. I am so enthusiastic about what we're going to hear from her because I've had a chance to spend time with her, and she is absolutely delightful and so knowledgeable. So get ready to learn some quick, powerful techniques. She's going to demonstrate that for us, and we'll have a chance at the end, we'll be able to share information so as to how you can reach her and take advantage of her wonderful skills and great manner. Okay, so Denise, welcome so much. Delighted to have you. Um, I can't wait to get to the topic, but before we start, I will tell our guests if they have any questions, if they're here live during this stream, to just pop those questions into the chat and we will follow up to get your answers. And so let's get started. So, first of all, Denise, just do us a solid and kick us off by sharing more specifically, more so than what I've said, what you do for leaders and entrepreneurs and how you came to be in this specialty.
Well, it was a long journey, and to keep it short, I've come up with a new term to introduce myself at in the networking events. And
Mhm.
I like to now call myself an integrated healing entrepreneur.
Mhm.
And I have a specific focus with that, and that's about supporting the customers that I serve in clearing energetic blocks in achieving goals on all levels and dimensions. So that sounds pretty woo-woo. The thing is we are all made of energy. It's an electrical signal that goes from your brain to tell your finger to bend and point. And these are connected to energetic pathways in my body that have, in all our bodies, that have been studied for over 5,000 years.
Mhm.
So I interface with modern scientific Western approaches with the ancient wisdom that comes out of traditional Chinese theory. So by doing that, it's a way that I can put these things together by offering innovative solutions that will empower, energize, and bring joy. And I provide trainings, mentorship, communities for wellness professionals and individuals who are just looking for solutions to clear pain in mind, body, or spirit,
Mhm.
and or the business. So that's a little bit about me on a really broad level overview, and I'm delighted today to talk about a topic right now more than ever in our lifetime, there is stress going on that's affecting the world at large. And
Hmm.
there are things that you can do that I will be happy to share with you later of how you can take the edge off.
Hmm.
So I'll leave it back to you to lead me down with questions that you would like to know more about.
Sure, sure. Well, we're going to have a conversation, and who knows where we'll go. And of course, we I do have some questions, but the idea is that we get a chance to really tap into uh, what you have learned because you've worked with hundreds of people and you've guided them through restoring their equilibrium. And I can imagine you have some fantastic stories in that area. So don't hesitate if you have an example to share. Okay.
I am full of stories. You're going to have to pull me back down if we're not going to talk for 3 or 10 years.
Okay.
So let me start that my introduction to bioenergetic wellness was through my
Okay.
chiropractor.
Okay.
And I lived up in a province in Canada, way up north. And I had this pain in the neck that pain relievers was not helping with. I was taking it 2 or 3 times a day. I had headaches, I had pain in the neck. And it was the pain in the neck that really said, okay, maybe I should go see a chiropractor. And his assistant did a bioenergetic assessment on me, something called muscle testing, muscles from head to foot. And I was like, what's going on? I can hold an arm up, no problem here. This side, it's like,
Hmm.
what just happened? She wasn't pushing hard. And
Okay.
I couldn't get my mind wrapped around what was happening. And she ushers me in to see the chiropractor, and he says, all your concerns are connected. And I'm going, you're really crazy because I got headaches, I got neck pain, I've got, some Americans have got constipation going on, and I've had different other infectious issues that had been coming periodically, chronically. And he's going, they're all connected. And I'm thinking, you've got to be crazy. Anyways, he looks at the assessment his assistant had done, and he gave me two little adjustments. And he went and rechecked those muscles that before, like there was nobody home, and he's pushing on them and pushing on them. And I'm like, la 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 la, when are you going to start pushing? And I could feel this surge of vitality in my body, this and this hopefulness. And I went, wow, I'm not a basket case, because when the assistant was doing it and this muscle unlocked and that unlocked, I had these thoughts in my head going, woo, you're worse off than you thought. So
Ah,
I felt this empowerment and this vitality in me. And I literally said, this is what I want to do when I grow up.
wow. Wow.
Now, I didn't turn out to be a chiropractor. I found out that there is a layperson track. And I jumped in with both feet and went down. I went wide. And with that, I've learned ways to distill a lot of the methods to make home run results for people who study in a fairly short period of time. Considering you could make a whole career out of this, very short period of time compared to the multiple years that I did. And what I observed when I was training students, even in my early days, is that they were not understanding how their thoughts and their posture
Hmm.
was contributing to illness. And I'll just call it dis-ease.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
I see this in entrepreneurs now. They're busy on the computer all day getting it done.
Hmm.
They're adopting terrible posture. We all know it. They're saying sitting is the new smoking. It is really terrible. And we're also shutting down our brain power when that's happening. You're literally shutting down pathways that connect the brain to the body to the brain. And I'm going to talk about that as a way that you can reset this for yourself so that you can start finishing projects. You can have better decision making, better focus, better concentration. Do you think that would be helpful to your audience, friend?
Yes, yes, it would. I was just thinking that that to the extent at which we can give them something that they can use in the interim, to help them, that would be ideal, because this is what the conversation is about, is helping people real time, and certainly positioning them so longer term they can see the results that they are aspiring to. I mean, I think that's why all of us are in business. We have a vision of where we want to be. So any way that you can help will be greatly appreciated. So in light of the fact that we want to get to that, I want you to just give us a quick snippet. Is how can someone recognize that stress is really taking over? And what is a fundamental principle that they can apply that can help them when they begin to see that happening to them?
Sure. Stress. We all know we deal with stress, and some days it's a little bit more, and we don't want to get out of bed, or we show up for work and we go, how fast can I get this one thing off my desk so I can run away for the rest of the day?
Mhm.
You know, there's fight, flight, there's freeze, and there's lay down and just take it. And, you know, if you're getting to the point where you're just letting life happen to you, some people will call that overwhelm. You've gone a little too far. So having awareness, I love your question, having awareness of before you get to the point. One of the most important things we can notice is breathing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us are only breathing into our chest about this high. It's not powering you up at all. It's causing you extra stress on so many physiological ways that the body is put together.
Mm-hmm.
So paying attention is if your breath seems like, take a breath. And if you just feel your chest raising out, that's not quite right. It's about having that diaphragmatic breath. And the other day I was with somebody, she was so stressed. It literally took her several minutes, and I would not let her go until she could feel the breath moving her abdomen. She literally could only feel
Ah,
it get to here. So if you
hmm.
put a hand on your abdomen and you take a deep breath, and I often say, okay, that was a good practice one. Now do it for real. If your
Okay.
hand's on your abdomen, do you feel your abdomen move a little bit? Do you feel your rib cage expanding a little bit? Because when
Mhm.
you get movement in those dimensions, you're doing it close to right, better than before. So if you're noticing, if you stop every once in a while and train yourself, where's my breath? And you're going, whoa, just a minute. It's not even reaching my heart.
Right, right.
Um, that would be something fundamental to watch. And the other thing is posture.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you're depressed is typically, and I'm not saying people are depressed, but watch the posture. When you start to look down and you start to slump, and you start to sit back,
Mm-hmm.
you're only looking at things down here. You're causing a lot of stress on your body. So what if you pulled up on your ears? What ends up happening, straightening you up. Your rib
Mm-hmm.
cage opens, makes it easier to breathe. Also, when your
Mm-hmm.
head is up and your eyes are straight forward, you see more opportunities in front of you.
Right.
So if you are a leader and you see people on your team are constantly like this, because who doesn't have text neck right now, right?
Right.
Encourage them to have that awareness and raise their chin. Okay,
Wow.
raising your chin changes your vibes, it changes your biochemistry in your body. There's magic that happens. So, posture up, open, and breathing all the way in.
Okay.
And I literally have got people, excuse me, I have a little thing going on here. I have people where I say, you must put an alert in your phone 3 times a day. Take 3 deep breaths. And don't ignore whatever you're doing, even if it's an alert and you're in a meeting, you're on a Zoom and you see a little reminder, take 3 deep breaths. And the proper breath, you at least start there. So those are really foundational.
Wow. Now, Denise, what I've heard you say so far, first of all, what you do is holistic, mind, body, It's awareness. So it is, being mindful, being really tuned in to what's going on in your body. And practically speaking, it starts with basically how you're holding your frame, in terms of posture, but also that breathing. And as you were talking, because I was practicing along with you, I realized that I hold my breath when I'm busy. I realize that I'm holding my breath, and then all of a sudden, I say, oh, I'm holding my breath, and I take a deep breath, and I'm like a little bit out of balance, and so what I'm hearing you say that with my recognition of my doing that probably I need to be programming my phone so I can get this reminder: breathe, Fran, breathe.
Eventually, it will become a skill, but the reminders at the start, if it's not natural for you, I mean, it sounds
Hmm.
goofy to have a reminder to breathe. The thing
Hmm.
is, you will be more productive. Just do it and you will see you are more productive. Does that matter to you as
Yes.
a chief executive officer, an
Yes.
entrepreneur, people working in a
Hmm.
team? When you see people that are not getting along in a meeting or somebody that's upset, what do they say? Can you just please stop for a moment and take a few deep breaths? There's a
Right.
reason for that because it works.
Yes. And Denise, God, this is why, I really love what my guests bring to the table, because in the conversation, I think we come to a realization that we are whole people, we're integrated, our systems are integrated, and while we think work is work, um, literally you can hear and through their demonstrations see how it just flows through, and it's no half person, it's not body over here and something else over there. It's really all together. And when we really want to make a difference or make an impact, we want to be hitting on, as I like to say, all cylinders. And so that means taking care of ourselves physically, emotionally, psychologically, as well as the things that we do in our businesses day to day. So we're now about the halfway mark because we talk about 30 minutes. So I want to make sure I give you an opportunity to do some demos,
Sure.
because that's one of the exciting things. So why don't we get into those techniques that you told me about, to share with folks before we wrap up?
Sure. So it would be beneficial to most people, definitely all the people I've ever spoken to. They go, greater focus, greater concentration. Yeah, can I have more of that, please? And
Hmm.
since I've started my company, Muscle Tuners, I have been training people to take a measurement before we do something, and take a measurement after. So
Hmm.
right now, just take a measurement of how much vitality do you feel in your body? Like if you can't crawl out of bed and you didn't show up for work today, you're at a 0. If you're
Hmm.
ready to think about, yeah, I'm going to go for Mount Everest. I'm ready to do it. I'm like feeling awesome. Where's your vitality from 0 to 10? Or some people like to measure from 0 to 100. Take a measurement of that, make a mental note of that. And also, if you have any discomfort in your body, where is it? What type of discomfort is it?
Hmm.
And take a measurement of it. So sometimes it's discomfort, it's tension. Sometimes it's outright pain.
Hmm.
So your viewers, pay attention to, is there something nagging you right now somewhere? And put a
Hmm.
measurement on it. Because when I run master classes for people like massage therapists and wellness professionals, they are amazed that this one technique does so much. So there's another bit of a story. One of my mentors, when he was in his student days, they were all rooming together in a house to go to a workshop. And somebody gets up in the morning and goes, it's so weird. I woke up with pins and needles on this side of my body, but I woke up sleeping on the other side of the body. So that's so weird. And he says, oh, that's a condition called switching. So you're going to activate these acupuncture points with acupressure touch. Denise is about to show you that in a minute. And she was doing it and she shrieked and went, that's so weird, because the pins and needles feeling went from the one arm to the arm it was supposed to be in. So this is profound. How many times do you go for therapy and you go, over here? But what if the brain signals have switched and they're reporting as being here, but the problem's on the other side?
That is kind of weird.
Yeah, if you're trying to solve a problem in business by working what's screaming and not taking a step back and finding out why is that screaming, and stop trying and figure out where the actual root of it is. That's what we have to do in business. And I'm going to show you something in your body that's dead simple. Also, I'll tell you about it as we go ahead. So you don't have to stand up for this, but I will to demonstrate. You must have a hand on your navel. This opens up your biocomputer. It opens up the files. And now when we rub on these acupressure points, the brain goes, oh, you want these master acupressure points just below the collarbone, on either side of the sternum, in the muscly part between the ribs below your collarbone. It's normally where your thumb and your outstretched fingers reach. Please put 2 fingers on one side, thumb on the other side, and you're going to give that a rubby-dubby. Keeping the hand on the navel. Now your brain is putting 2 and 2 together, and it is really, literally increasing the communication of messages going from your right brain to your left brain, from your right brain to the left body, the left brain to the right body, and this brings integration into your movements. If you're an athlete, you will have better coordination. You will notice it. Okay, switch hands. It's always good because we work with Chinese acupuncture, and we've probably heard of yin and yang. It's nice if you can remember to use both hands. And you just activate those points. And by the way, if they're tender, please do not press harder. Back off. If they're tender, you don't want to fight the acupressure system. You don't want to fight the nervous system. You just lighten up, and your brain's going, what is going on over there? It's putting 2 and 2 together, and you have now given a handshake between the right brain and the left brain. One of my specialists was giving a demonstration. Someone in the audience shrieked. Again, it seems to be kind of common because people don't expect sudden changes. And she said, I can see. And you went, well, yeah. She says, no, I lost my peripheral vision about 7 years ago in a stroke case, and now my peripheral vision just came back. So we cannot make promises, but these are key, or they're called master acupuncture points. And depending on what's going on for an individual, be open to your nervous system, letting go of stress you didn't even know was stuck, and you've opened up the pathways for messages to cross. So now there's 2 more aspects. We have messages going from the brainstem up to the cortex of the, where we do some thinking. Keep a hand on the navel, thumb, 2 fingers. Now they're going to rub just above and below your lips. And it feels a little odd. That's why it's always fun to do this in a group, so you don't feel you're the only one doing it. Now these points are stacked one upon the other. Let's switch hands. This is really integrating those messages going from the brainstem, which is little things like heartbeat, respiration, digestion. There you go. So the brain's going, gee, hey, I'm like, oh, what's going on? And the brainstem is not getting the messages to, hey, take a deeper breath now. You're a little high on carbon dioxide or something. That would be healthy for that communication pathway to be rebooted. Now, the next one is, I will stand up to show this. And today I'm wearing a tunic. This is my tailbone way down here. Do not press on the tip of the tailbone. You want to be about where the tailbone connects to the sacrum. Your sacrum is that bone right here in your pelvis area. Okay. Where does your tailbone more or less attach to your sacrum, and you're just going to give that a little wiggle up and down. And
Okay.
of course, you have to keep one hand on your navel.
Okay.
And everybody, you're welcome to do this sitting down, of course, and breathe. And when you're a couple more wiggle jiggles, you're going to switch hands. I like to use friendly language. So notice that this is between the front of the body where you have your belly button and your tailbones and back of your body. So
Yeah.
what we just did is restore communication between the forebrain, where you focus on challenges and come up with solutions. And when we're stressed, we tend to go to our back brain, our dinosaur brain. And do we make very good decisions based on limited access to all your brain resources when you're stuck in your dinosaur brain?
Mm-mm. No, we
So
don't.
when you activate these points, you're reawakening, rebooting the messages between the forebrain and the back brain. So simple. It literally takes a minute. If I wasn't explaining it, you just hold your navel and you rub these points. You rub, sorry, I'm talking, if in case you're listening instead of watching, this is just below the collarbone, the inner ends of the collarbone. And then they're on either side of the lips, top and bottom. And then the back is where the tailbone attaches to the sacrum. And you will increase your productivity. I know people who've had brain injury who have to do this so they can finish a task, or they get distracted and don't get anything done all day. So whether you need this once a day, 3 times a day, teach it to the people that are stressing you out in your life, because when they're operating a little bit, they've upgraded their operating system, they won't be stressing you out so much. This is why I chose this simple method, because it's profound. Please go in the world and teach it. I saw Goldie Hawn, the actress, show this on a talk show before I learned any of this work. And then I went, oh, that's what she was demonstrating on that talk show. She was using it, made a huge difference in her life. So if it's good for Goldie, it'll be good for you.
Well, Denise, I have to say that just in doing those techniques with you here, well, the first one, I actually felt the energy or the chi or whatever you call it. I actually felt that opening up, and it was such a relief. So I wanted to share that. So if people weren't feeling anything, it may be very individual what you feel, but something will happen, and just continue to do it, because I actually, I'm now energized and I have a few more hours of work to do. So that's a good thing for me. But we're now about three
I've got
minutes
3 minutes left. I'm just going to wrap that one up. Go back and measure
Yeah.
your own vitality. Measure if you had discomfort in your body. You might be surprised that your body's already functioning better and some tension has gone. And yeah, I'll park it there, but do take a remeasurement of where you were at. And then the next one, it literally takes about 30 seconds to a minute to perform. And
Okay.
explaining it takes the 2.5 minutes. How many times have you seen somebody hold their forehead and go, oh no,
Yeah.
right? They've just gotten
Right.
bad news and they put their hand on their forehead, or they're a student writing an exam and they're leaning into their forehead into their hand as they're working on their exam. This is all common. When mothers soothe their child when they wake up at night, we often hold the forehead. When you've got a fever, how great does it feel to have a little bit of pressure on the forehead? All these things are very soothing, and there are acupressure points right above the colored part of your eye, halfway between your eyebrow and your natural hairline. If you don't have a natural hairline at the moment, imagine where it used to be. So it's basically on this bone, and you're for sure going to cover those points if you just simply lay a hand lightly on your forehead. The
Mm.
idea is as lightly as you can hold. If you put pressure on, you're blocking the stress release valves. They're a little bit like those valves in the blow pool toys, when you go And you have to pinch it a little bit to get air in, and you have to pinch it to let air out. What we're doing here is a form of pinching. Touching the points lightly is allowing pressure to come out of your emotional system, pressure that affects your entire body. So what you're going to do is you're just very lightly going to hold your forehead, and you're going to consider something that's stressing you out. A conversation you just had, an upcoming conversation you need to have. Recollecting, and don't use this for trauma, please, unless you're with a practitioner who can support you if you trigger something. This is for day-to-day stress. How about you hold your forehead thinking and planning your day-to-day? I've got this meeting, I've got this recording, I've got to get this report out, I'm going to have to send some information and do this, and oh, I got to remember to pick little Jimmy up from school. Then, there's this and that. So by holding your forehead while you're reviewing all that, you're literally letting stress out of your nervous system. You're letting stress out of your energetic system. And if you want to imagine an upcoming interview or presentation, and you hold your forehead and you imagine as if it's happening, and it's, look at me. What do I see? What do I hear? What do I feel? Right? You're programming that into your subconscious mind. And as you're thinking about it, and anything, I don't know if I'll say the right words, whatever is going on inside you, because you're holding these release valves, you're giving it an
Wow.
out so it stops circulating around you. So as a CEO, an entrepreneur, this is a precious technique. Please share it with your family. Please teach these two techniques with kids. If you have kids, no matter what age. Oh, look at that. I don't know if that's showing up on your recording. Apparently, I've got some kind of
Yes.
gestures showing up. So in any case, teach it to people who need to let go of some stress, and they can do it in a minute or two whenever they need. They can do it in the restroom, they can do it in a boardroom, they can do it at their desk. Please, they are so simple and yet so profound.
Wow. Well, Denise, first of all, thank you. Because just as I said earlier, just those few moments of practicing along with you has energized me. And what I really liked about what you shared is that you're encouraging us to not just do it for ourselves, but do it for those we care about, those whom we work with. It is really about overall well-being for all of us. And as you say, the world is stressful, and we can all use that kind of support. Now, we're completely out of time. We're going to run over just a little bit. So, guests, please stick around because Denise, I want you to share with us quickly how can people get in touch with you if they really want to get a workout and get a handle on stress in their lives.
You can reach me by going to my website, which is muscletuners.ca here in Canada. And there's a contact button at the top navigation bar where you can send in a question, you can book an appointment. There's also on my webpage, you look a little bit near the top, but not quite at the top, there's a button that says tips. You sign up there with your email address. I will not abuse your email address. There's at least 6 tips there. I'm building up a library of things I will add in the future. This emotional stress release tip is in there. It might be called Power on Your Brain Buttons is also on there. So if you want a visual representation and a couple other tips for pain and relief, please go there, muscletuners.ca. And I also have programs for self-care professionals. Just go to the website and you'll find it all.
Fantastic. So, to my viewers, I really appreciate you joining us. Denise, I am so grateful that you have given us a chance to hear what you do, to practice what you do. I could just imagine someone having you come into their organization come, and you're bringing your team. You're having a work meeting. You want to do a team building, and this could be a great exercise to integrate into a meeting. I can just imagine that there are a number of ways that you can help a leader really capitalize on these techniques and this understanding, so that they introduce well-being and stress, not necessarily stress management, but a de-stressing that can really have profound effects on the productivity and the relationships that exist within teams.
You nailed it.
So,
You nailed it. It's about increased productivity, reduced absenteeism, preventing injury if you're in that type of an industrial kind of thing. We can help with all of that. So you get me. I appreciate you so much, Fran.
and I appreciate you. I appreciate our viewers. I'm Fran Strickland. We have Mrs. Denise Cambiotti. She is a fantastic, she's now my buddy. And I'm just so excited that she's joined us here today. Denise, I'm going to have you come back. And in the meantime, let's stay in touch. So that's it for now. I look forward to seeing all of you in our next episode of Tapped In with Vera Lee Biz Solutions. Have a